Hope was to make preschool available to 5,000 more children in the city of Cincinnati.
A group called Preschool Promise wanted Cincinnati to be the first major city in America to have taxpayer-supported preschool for both 3- and 4-year-old students. Town hall meetings and listening sessions were held in different neighborhoods to drum up support for the program. Preschool Promise even traveled to Denver to research the funding that they have there on a similar program.
But it looks like the $16 to $18 million price tag is way too high, and the competition with another tax increase potentially too damaging there.
And so, as Local 12 News reporter Jeff Hirsch tells us, the Preschool Promise is being scaled back.
Preschool Promise wanted universal preschool, 3- and 4-year-olds, with tuition subsidies for parents. Any parent would be eligible, not just the poor. Subsidy size based on family income. Preschool Promise was aiming for a Cincinnati earnings tax increase on the November ballot to pay for the plan. But after a meeting today between Preschool Promise leaders and school board members, the earnings tax idea is dead, and preschool eligibility will be different too. While details are still being finalized, preschool for all 3-year-olds is out, with subsidies for a much smaller number of those children.
We have to provide 2 years of high-quality preschool for all of our children, even if we have to start with those children who absolutely need it the most and whose parents couldn't otherwise afford it.
Funding for Preschool Promise will be reduced and folded into a Cincinnati public school system property tax levy in November, rather than being a standalone issue. The political reality driving this change is simply this. There was a fear, and there is, that if there were two separate tax issues, one for the Cincinnati public school system and one for the Preschool Promise, they would both go down.
It's going to be hard enough to get the kind of levy passed that we're going to need to with all of the pressures that exist for taxpayers now, but we think it would have spelled doom for sure.
And we are still talking about a very large increase in preschool. It seems, and I say seems because everything is still a work in progress, that we are still talking about preschool for all 4-year-olds with subsidies for parents, and that is going to be discussed on Monday night at the school board meeting when the final plan should be hammered out and we'll know all the specifics. But I talked before about the political situation, and consider this. If there were two competing levy or ballot issues, tax issues on the ballot, the Preschool Promise and the school levy, Preschool Promise wins perhaps, school levy loses perhaps, then you see a situation where preschool teachers are being hired and elementary and high school teachers are being laid off, and that's just politically unacceptable to the people here. Live at the school board office, Jeff Hirsch, Local 12 News, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jeff. The size of the November school levy, including preschool, is still on the drawing board. The Cincinnati school system has not had a new operating levy in 8 years.